Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Y'all saw the thumbnail. We're going to break down this weekend's fights and what a weekend it was. But we're going to talk about that and some other things. But you guys know the drill. Y'all know the drill. But first, let's turn to. Hey, welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. As I said earlier, I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T or just TT. We're going to get into some stuff about this weekend fight. Oh, what a night Saturday night was. But y'all know what I do at the top of my hour. So water check. I hope you all are staying hydrated and drinking your water. Don't stop that. Just keep that train rolling. Here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we advocate for the average person, especially if you're an adult, to drink 100 ounces of water. An adult can drink a gallon of water. After all, we're 70% water, approximately. So, we advocate that you drink that much. Now, I know the formula is half your body weight in ounces of water. But, can you see a person drinking 200 ounces of water if they weigh 400 pounds? I can't see it. I wouldn't advocate for it. And, there is a such thing as water OD. So we just say, hey, just drink 100 ounces. That right there is going to show tremendous changes, positive changes in your overall health. And we say, if you're not a big water drinker, because that's something you have to acclimate yourself to. You have to get used to drinking water. And a lot of people be like, man, if I drink some water, I'm going to be in and out the bathroom. But if you be patient and hold out, in a week or two, it'll level itself out. You won't be in the bathroom that much. You will result to your regular pace of bathroom visits. So you just got to be patient. But that should not deter you from drinking water. We know that a lot of people are not fans of drinking water all the time. So we say at least twice out the day that you need to drink water. That's first thing in the morning. Before your toes hit the ground, before you get into your morning routine, drink you 8 ounces of water. It should be sitting by the nightstand. Learn how to drink your water room temperature. As I always say, I advocate for people to get a little refrigerator to put in their room. I'm telling you guys, it will not, I repeat, will not change your electric bill that drastically. I don't think you're going to see much of a change. And if you do, then you have some more underlying problems with your electric service or, your units and all this stuff. But it won't change it. But it will keep you from having to truck down to the kitchen. And when you there, you might see something else you want and whip up something. Who knows? But if you got the water right there, drink that joint, do one of them numbers, and lay it down to sleep. or get up and get your morning routine going. So the first thing in the morning, if you think of your body as an engine and the water is the lube, it helps things move along and everything efficiently and smoothly. And that's what you want, because what we do first thing in the morning, what most of us do. I haven't met a person yet that don't get down like that first thing in the morning. But the second time is at night before you lay down for the night. After you got the shower, some people take their showers and baths at night. I do. After you got the shower, throw your pajamas on, what have you, get in the bed. You'll probably be reading an article or looking at a book or watching the program on TV before you fall off to sleep. But that's when you drink your water. And the American Heart Association agrees that drinking water like that at night was good for your heart. It's a lot more going on when you sleeping, I think, than when you up, like important stuff. You're replenishing. You're doing a lot of reads. Revamping, rebooting, recharging, replenishing, recleaning. A whole lot of reads. You know what I'm saying? As well as relaxing. And that's what you need. You need relaxation in your life. But, rebuilding blood cells and stuff, blood, your red blood cells, you're replenishing them by the thousands daily. That's the one group that renews on a daily basis, like in the thousands. So you want to drink water to help all that. That is the fluid that you want to add to whatever natural fluids are involved with doing all these things. And, a fun fact, the average person burns between 900 to 1,000 calories at night in their sleep, like a deep sleep. And you can't even get that in the workout in the gym. So you definitely want to not miss your sleep. And you want to just drink some water. That's twice a day. From there, build up. Add another bottle. Slowly but surely. I'm telling you, it's not going to take you long to build up a tolerance as far as being able to drink water without getting sick of it. You can't do it fast. Nobody can. I don't know anybody who could just be like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to drink a gallon of water, and you never barely drunk a bottle, a 16-ounce bottle of water, and the next day you're going to say, I'm going to drink a gallon. This shit don't happen like that. You'll be spitting up water and shit, throwing up water. But if you're not going to drink a lot of water, do at least drink water twice a day in that amounts. 8 ounces is good, a cup a day. And you want to get to a point where it used to be I used to hear when I was young, 8-ounce cups of water. And I was like, oh, well, that's about 64 ounces of water, I guess. But no, I'm going to say 100. Reach that goal. And if you ever fall off and you don't make it that day, after all, tomorrow is another day, in my Vivian Lee voice. So, and that's how you got to look at it. I didn't make it today, but I'll make it tomorrow. Or, damn, I fell off. I'll get back on in an hour or two. That's no matter what you're doing. No matter what you're doing. Sports, school, job, parenting, diets, whatever. You name it. You will fall off and you will fall down. But just get back up and get back in it. Get back in the game. That's all I need to tell you to do. But we definitely say, don't be out here being one of these people today that be dehydrating themselves. A lot of dehydration and stuff was rampant back when I was younger. That shit damages your inside, and you'll pay for it later. And you don't need to go through that. Miss T here to tell you, them things happen. I'm living it. But somebody probably tried to tell me, and I ain't listened. But I don't know. Like when I would drink water, and I'd be like, man, I drink a lot of water, but why am I dehydrated? I don't know. Everybody's body is different. So, but the point is, make a concerted effort to drink your water. Now that I said that, let's do a little housekeeping. In my humblest voice ever, my humblest voice, please, please, please hit the like, share, subscribe button. If you never hit subscribe, then hit the button. If you've already subscribed, don't touch that button. Don't touch that dial. Hit that like and share button. Don't touch the subscribe button if you already used it, because you're locked in. And if you're watching me on replay, especially, hit the like and share button, and leave a comment. But please, please, please leave it in English. In other words, lean on my leasy when you step into my heezy. Basically, hit the damn like button when you step into my square circle. And if you have any questions, and I do mean any, about anything that I say or anything, hit me up at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. I do a Finding the Health in You show. People email me through that. I've helped other people, find their health in them. And they went on to have great results, domino effects results, things that they weren't even looking for wind up happening, because the whole point is finding the health, finding your health, your specific health in you. And we will go at a snail's pace to make sure that we do that. And I do have a formula. I do create a routine for you, specifically catered to you. And it be working. I'm betting 1,000 on that one. It do cost, because you pay for my time and effort. Because I create recipes and all kinds of stuff for you to eat. So anyway, but if you have any questions, hit me up there. Just leave a comment. I do go back and read them. And like I said, I am open-minded, but I am TT. I think what I think. But if you can present something to me that sounds rational and logical, I'm all ears. I don't know everything. But now that I did all that, let me welcome some folks in the building. Welcome to the people that's watching me through Facebook. I'll be seeing y'all. I see y'all after the show. I always keep telling y'all, just come in your YouTube. You can. If you got a Gmail account, you got a YouTube account. So just come in through your YouTube and hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And like I said, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, then do so. And but if you did, don't touch that dial. Reginald Peters is in the building. What's popping, King? He said, hey, Miss T. What's popping, Reginald? I know you got something for me with the Wilder fight, but hold on, I'm gonna squeeze mine off first. I'm gonna talk about the Haney and Kambosos fight. I got something to say about that. Pernell Penny is in the building. What's up, Percy P? It was some good fights this weekend. It sure was. Is this April's Pernell? I'm wondering. Let me know, player. Let me know. Anywho, so we're going to get down to this, right? So I was going to break down the fights. We're going to talk about a few other things that I read about today that I think might be of interest in the boxing community. So Haney versus Kambosos. Now, this was the crazy thing. You saw my thumbnail. I put the same thumbnail up that I had Friday. Who would be victorious and who would face defeat? Well, I got to say, them 3 pictures, they all were victorious. That is Wilder, Shields, and Haney. And I think the girls, Claressa Shields card, I think they were all on ESPN Plus. I got to see it. And Haney was on ESPN, and they were for the free. Like, you didn't have to pay no extra pay-per-view. Wilder's fight was pay-per-view, and I promised y'all that I would stick to my guns, and I did. Yay! Yes. I stuck to my guns. I did not buy that fight. Y'all know Wilder is my favorite fighter. It's Wilder country over here, and I didn't buy that fight. Luckily for me, it was over before you know it. So I did get to see the highlights and seeing how he knocked the old boy out. But I'm going to let Reginald handle that, because I didn't see any other fights on that card. And we know we had Caleb Plant and Darrell. So I'm going to let let Reginald break that down for y'all. But first, let me squeeze this one off with Haney and Cambosos. That was a good fight. I didn't know if it would be. I was not interested in seeing a repeat of the first fight, and I thought it was gonna be bum as hell. But it was actually a good competitive fight. Now I'm gonna say some things, and people might not agree, and they might feel feel a certain way, but I don't care because I see what I see, and y'all see what y'all see. I think Haney got exposed. Now I know people say when you hear somebody say, "Oh, they got exposed," like that's all negative. It's not always negative. Got exposed could be something that's easily fixed. But in this case, Haney is a great fighter. Y'all, I like to throw this caveat out. I'm a fan of Devin Haney. It's a lot of things I can say and have said about him since I've had this channel, in a positive, uplifting way. But I will be critical of any and everybody, and I will be fair about it. Okay. I remember something that Mr. Gary Russell Jr. had said about Haney when they was having their tay-to-tay. And I looked, and I had to go back and watch some of his fights, and I was like, damn, Gary Russell was right. And I was like, wow, he saw that. I don't know why I didn't pay attention, but he saw some things. Ever since Gary Russell had said that, every time I watch Haney fights, I watch to see if he improved in those areas. And I didn't see much improvement. But I'm a proponent of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm big on that one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, that will be considered broke depending on who you fight. Who is your opponent? When I say Devin was exposed, because looking at that fight, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. There was things that I think other fighters could do that could get the win over Devin, or easily beat him or something. And I don't like to say easily because he ain't no easy win, but like possibly dethrone him. And if I saw it, I know damn well his peers saw it. People who are actually fighting. I'm not actually fighting. It ain't what I saw. It ain't nothing that I could do. In fact, all these boxers will kick my ass. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about their peers. Devin Haney cannot deal, to me, with a moving target, a person who's just as a complete fighter as he is. He is a complete fighter. Where he will struggle is with another complete fighter. See, I always tell you guys that if I had to bet and put my money down on a person who's just a slugger or a puncher or a person that just throw hands wild and shit versus a complete fighter, I will always go with the complete fighter no matter how good that other fighter is. Hence, Spence and Crawford. Crawford is heads and tails by far the more complete fighter compared to Spence. Spence is a great fighter. He's great. He got great fundamentals, and he can box a little. But I don't call him a complete boxer. But because both of them got power and thump in their hands, in my opinion, Crawford is going to win. This is why I pick Crawford all the time. And we see fight after fight after fight that shows you the more complete fighter always wins. I don't know how many fights I can start naming off. Who was that I was like when Shakur beat Valdez? You know how tough Valdez was? Shakur beat him easily. More complete fighter. Modern King Boxing is in the building. What's popping, King? You know what I'm saying? Who else can I say? Mikhail Fox ain't got the first bit of power. He beat that dude Maestri, and Maestri was trying to throw haymakers. A more complete fighter. I'm going to always side with the more complete fighter And Devin Haney and most of his matchups, that's what the fuck he is. The more complete fighter. But get him in there with somebody else that can hold that title too, as a more complete fighter. And they will probably move better. Devin is young. He got a lot to learn. He can do a lot of growing, and he says that himself. So I don't doubt that by the time Devin 30, he wouldn't have some of these things buttoned down. But in the meantime and in between time, if we talking about right now, this is why I will pick Shakur Stevens over Devin. I think Shakur is more of a complete fighter than Devin. They both are at the A game at the top elite. I just edge Shakur a little more. That's all. Just a tiny bit more. Because we can't say both of them got knockout punches, power. Like they don't have that kind of power to just knock you out with one punch. I'm sure that their punch is thudding or it hurts a little bit. I don't know. I can't really judge, or there's nothing that either one of them have done that make me say, oh, but the power though. Because I could say that about Spence. I'm like, oh man, but the power though. And he's not a knockout artist. So, but again, the more complete fighter. Devin likes to box you. He's more comfortable on the outside. Devin clinches a lot, which he knows how to do. And I give him 100% for that, because there's a lot of boxers who don't know how to clinch. And sometimes the clinch will save you some embarrassment or getting knocked out. But that's part of the tool bag of knowing how to fight. And Devin does that well. One thing Devin did in this fight that I did not like. Hold on, let me get this right up. Martin King says Devin Haney hasn't lost fights since he went pro at 17. Whoever beats Haney, good job. Oh, it's coming. It's when he step up in competition, it very may well happen. I don't say he don't have no kind of chance. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying before I get into what he did that I didn't like. And that, to me, I thought it was conduct unbecoming, but hey, they're in a fight. I always say, and correct me if I'm wrong, if a fighter gets in the ring with you and they don't belong there, what is your job? What is your job? Martin King said, good evening at Boxing Fans Talk. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the building, MKB. They won't be as strong. I think, but Haney finishing Lomachenko and going up is the only thing I can see. Shakur will have to come to 140 to fight him. I got news on that too. Devin hit Kambosos in the back of his head, and for my taste, on purpose. Once or twice, and I would never call Devin a dirty fighter. I'm telling you what I saw. After about 3 times, you're doing it on purpose, Shawty. You're doing it on purpose, and I don't know why, because you don't need to do it. The bowing, the head, and all that other shit come with the territory. As Floyd would say, it come with the territory. He rough and rugged. Devin was rough and rugged. I don't knock either one. But the hitting in the back of the head, Shawty, that part, I was like, why are you doing that? It took the focus off of me watching him just be great. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think he needed to do it. And I wasn't happy about that one little area with him. But I will say, if you can't say that he outshined or he washed or he dog walked Kambosos, because he didn't do that. He beat him fair and square. He beat him up a little, but he beat him fair and square. George Kambosos, however, kind of improved. He improved. That fight was way different from the first. A lot of people was thinking it was going to be a repeat of the first. Maybe even Devin thought it was going to be worse. Devin even put out an idle threat to him, like, the more aggressive you get, the worse I'm going to beat your ass. I don't know. I'm not mad at him for saying that neither. Maybe that got in Kambosos' head. But Kambosos that switching that he was doing, I never advocate for people to do that. I know Bud does it. I know Ennis do it. If you're going to be a person who do it, you better be good at that shit. Because you can get really fucked up doing some shit like that. It is not recommended. I would never train nobody to be going back and forth like that, especially at that interval that Kambosos was doing. He was interchanging. He was switching up too quick. I don't the whole time. I counted. I can't even say how many times that Kambosos kept switching back and forth. In my head, right around, I was like, Devin, jump on him when he do that shit and knock him the fuck out. Because one thing you do know, he off balance when he does it. Devin didn't do it. You have to ask yourself, why didn't he? Missed opportunity right there. Modern King Boxer said, I guess you didn't see the pulling Haney arm in and trying to lock him in clinches to get points with body blows. Wilder could have used smart tactics as Haney did versus Fury, just an observation. Yeah, I saw both of them clinching. I saw Devin clinch, to me, a little bit more. But I did see both of them clinching. Like I said, they was rugged. I said when you hit on the back, somebody's back, there's a reason why that's off limits. And you hit in the back of their head. Now, if you looked at Deontay Wilder's post press conference, he was talking about a dude who is a vegetable now because somebody wanted to hit him in the back of the head. I don't understand that. It's not necessary. And damn sure if you hit somebody low blow, these men want to go on to have children. Who the fuck amongst y'all want to have wee problems? You know, I know this is an adult show, but just in case any kids listen, who wants to have a wee problem? You can seriously hurt somebody going low. So a couple of shots that people can make, I'm not with it because I don't see the need for it. If you all that, you don't need to go there. I'm not knocking. You going listen, Devin is not perfect. Nor am I, nor is anybody. So we should be able to be critical, but be fair. You know, I'm a Devin Haney fan. I wanted him to win. I was going through it like, you know, why is y'all avoiding him? You know, like all them years. I'm glad he is undisputed. And whatever he decides, if he decides to go up, I'm with him. If he decides to stay there and duke it out with some more folks, I'm with that too. But this boxing, y'all, this boxing, I will not be unfair. I will not avoid criticism because, and it's constructive criticism. It's not put down criticism. You'll know when I don't like somebody and I'm putting them down. Like you've heard me talk about Ryan Garcia. I don't like him. Really don't like him. And think he's bad for boxing. So you'll hear that. But with Haney, I thought he had a lot of missed opportunities. As many times as George switched back and forth, those were opportunities. Because I clearly saw that George was off balance. And then Martin King said, I'm not debating Queen, just being a Haney fan asking for a friend. Now you good. And I don't know how my voice sounds or how I come across. I be passionate about things too, but I told you guys I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody gets respect over here. And you know, if you feel the way you feel, you feel the way you feel. Now, if you act like you don't see writing on the wall, then come on now. You might get a little back and forth, a little pushback, just a scotch. But, you know, like I said, Devin hit him in the back of the head. And there was 3 times that I counted. Might have been more. I'm going to leave it at 3 because I think it was more. But that I seen Kambosos get Devin. And Devin pretty much went in for the clinch, but pretty much falling into George and using George to hold him up, himself up. Did y'all see when Devin dipped? I'm going to say this. A lot of people ain't going to believe it. They ain't gonna believe it. They're gonna be like, T, you just be hating. But I'm just being observant. Devin, in the future, he's a young man. He's 23, about to be 24. But in his future, he may have some, I think, some stomach issues. Why? Because in his fights, I've seen people go to his stomach and he weathered the storm, but he's also 23. I like to see that when he's like 29, 30. I like to, or 30, between 30 and 32. I want to see how he do. If y'all figuring how can I bring that out of my ass, think about Keith Thurman. I was a big Keith Thurman fan. Y'all call him stomachy. I don't want to call Keith Thurman stomachy, but he is. He is now. But when Keith was young, when he was like Devin's age, he wasn't. He wasn't. You would have never called Keith Thurman stomachy or chinny. You'd have never said any of that shit. Reginald Peters said Wilder looked good. He did too. But so I see in Devin's future, he's gonna have some stomach issues. I don't know what he doing, how he eating, but in most of his fights, somebody hit him in the stomach, and you get, because JoJo Diaz hit him several times in the stomach and had him hurt. Devin fell into George. Not obvious, but Devin, he does a lot of great things. He do a lot of things that are great, like expertise level. So he knows how to clinch. He knows how to keep himself from falling. And there's a couple of times those clinches from Devin, he would have failed. He would have failed, I think, or possibly could have failed. When you constantly hitting somebody, whether you got pop or not, eventually you will break the will of somebody, and those punches will start to hurt even if they didn't hurt at first. And so that's the problem that George got from Devin. Devin can hit him at will. But like I said, missed opportunity when he was doing the switcheroo. Devin should have jumped on his ass like white on rice. Should have. Modern King said, I saw from the beginning Haney was going to implement something more than his jab, and I saw and predicted he would beat Kambosos with the right hand this go around like he beat Moran. And then he said, pause. Wilder was just fighting a tune-up. Devin can't be beaten. You got to have Wilder power. He said, how many rounds did Wilder look good allegedly? He didn't. Well, Reginald gonna break that down. I'm almost done with the Haney thing, but I wanted to hop on this. But like I said, there's a lot of people that's not gonna like what I'm saying, but I'm being honest. Now, at the press conference, Devin said, before I say this, Devin is a warrior, and I see him as such. He is the king of 135, and I see him as such. You know what I'm saying? But he does have flaws, and he need to work on them. He do need to work. He has holes. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know how long you can go in your career, because the prevailing wisdom is if somebody's in there that nowhere is not on your level, no kind of way, shape, or form, the goal is they don't need to spend that much time in the ring with you. Period. And Devin is not showing us that. Now, I mean, he's boxing, and he can box real good outward. I don't know if he's good inward, in the phone booth or something. I don't know. But I will say I've been begging and calling for a fight to show me some adversity. And this was the only fight that I could say that showed me a little adversity. And you know how sad that is, because it really wasn't. It's adversity because Kambosos was giving him trouble in the beginning, or making them think like, Devin, you can't take that from Kambosos. That movement confused Devin. Devin, I'm not saying in 4 or 5 rounds he wouldn't have figured it out, but what it showed, when I say he's exposed, it showed me that somebody like a Lomachenko, and my Quentin voice, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. But Devin is a warrior. And he said that he taking all comers. And he said he's likely going to stay at 135. Now, these are his words. So don't look for Devin to move up just yet. Marty King said since the hand surgery, he's improved every fight, Miss T. What are you talking about, Devin? When Wilder or someone defending a belt improves, let me know, Queen. Yeah, I mean, we can say that Kambosos gave a concerted effort. He did come with a different game plan, and Devin was not able to do what he normally does. Devin will stay on the outside and box you all fucking night. He's a complete fighter. But sometimes you got to do a little bit more. Now, put him in the fight. Now, this I'm looking at 135 going forward. Then I'm going to drop the link. Shakur Stevens, I believe, will win over Devin. Lomachenko, I believe, will win over Devin. As Black Fight fan call him White Jesus. And I'm not even a big Lomachenko fan. Know why I'm saying them too? Because they are just as a complete fighter as Devin is. But I see a little bit more. I see their game plan a little bit better. Now, what I will say, just a little bit, I don't think he had to swing on Kambosos like this. He's still wide with his shots, but not as much. And that was one of the flaws that Gary Russell pointed out. To the person who don't have to go so wide to hurt you when they shoot the shot down on you, that's going to be trouble for Devin. But Devin still does that a little bit, not as much. So I will have to give him kudos for closing the gap slowly but surely on that one, because that's what he's going to have to do. If he was in there when it was talk that it might have been a Mr. Gary Russell Jr. and Devin Haney, I think that Gary Russell would have won, because he's just as more of a complete fighter, and he's faster, and he can hurt you without having to swing from a wide distance. So the third person in 135, Isaac Cruz. Why? Isaac Cruz gonna be trouble for any of them, because he's come forward. He do know how to box, believe it or not, and he'll walk you into something. He knows how to dip, dodge, slip, and he's very good. He's one of the best at 135 with his head placement as far as how his chin is tucked in. So, coming in on him, like, how Tank always want to throw that uppercut. He could not get it that much with Isaac. I ain't saying that Tank didn't get an uppercut on Isaac here and there, but not like he normally. He had to abandon it, I think. And y'all saw at the end of the fight, the look on their face told it all. I'm not mad at that decision, but I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to Isaac neither. I would not have been mad if it was a draw. So Isaac is a force to be reckoned with in this 135 division. And yes, I am a fan of him too. The fourth and final person will be Tank. Devin can beat Tank if he just box him like he boxed everybody, because Devin would never let Tank get in easily, I think. With Tank Banks on, Tank is an excellent boxer too. He's a complete fighter too. But with Tank Bank on, it's the mistakes you make. Like, if I give an example of Rolly, it's just a matter of time before Rolly throw caution to the wind. And when he does that, Tank is there to capitalize. On all of them, it's just a matter of time before they throw caution to the wind and don't be as guarded or as they should be, or don't move like they should, or get off balance. Tank wait for mistakes, and then he punish you. That's what he will have to do with a Devin. But if Devin know he fighting Tank, Devin ain't gonna make no fucking mistakes. So I say that that's a 50-50 fight. But Lomachenko and Shakur Stevens, I got them winning over Devin. And I'm going to say 50-50 with Isaac, but I think Isaac might be more like a 60-40, in my opinion, because Isaac is just as powerful as Tank. Just as powerful. The question is, how good of a chin, stomach, or whatever do Shakur got, do Tank got, do Lomachenko got? Because if you fight Isaac Cruz or you fighting Tank, you got to contend with that. You got to be ready for that. Black Fight Fan, a Super Buster fan, is his opinion, but opinions are just spelled almost like onions. He gonna be crying in the car after Haney beats Loma worse than Lopez. I don't know. I think Lomachenko could get Haney. I just think so. He struggled he struggled too much for him, too much for them with Kambosos in the beginning rounds. And it wasn't even a bad fight. Haney won easily. But I'm just saying, he was struggling with all that movement and shit. As good as he is, how don't he know that when a person switch like that, you jump on them? So Kambosos was so off balance doing that shit. I was waiting for Haney to floor him, and he didn't. So I have to ask myself, how I see it, you didn't see it. Why you didn't do that? And don't be like, with Miss T, you not a fighter. Like if he was to answer me, be like, what would you do? Tell me how you would do it. I wouldn't be able to be in there and from jump. From jump. Reginald said, you need to move up bad. Move up bad? What you mean? Ray New Salters is in the building. What's poppin', King? He said, Miss T, what up, though, Queen? That was one of the best nights in boxing. It's been a minute. Sure was. And Monica said, Isaac, he laughing, getting pressed for beating Gamboa. Isaac almost beat Tank. They gave that, they kind of gifted Tank that night. Don't play. Isaac the truth. Marty King, Isaac the truth. Y'all gonna see. I've been saying it for over a year now. Isaac the truth. So let me drop this link and let me see. Why did I do that? And let somebody come in and break down the Wilder card, because Miss T stuck to her guns and she did not buy that fight. So I dropped the link. It's in there. But like I said, Devin is a warrior. And he had to make some adjustments. So I did get to see that. He, to me, on such a finite, small level, he faced a little adversity. Because I didn't think he had an answer for a lot of movement and angles. I didn't think he had an answer for it. He's bigger and taller. Like, you can look at his stature and tell that he's not going to be at 135 forever. He even said it. He don't make it easy. But he said he's not likely to move up. Monty King Boxer said, is Loma bigger than Kambosos because he was switch hitting but getting popped more? Yeah, and you can see listen, it took Devin way too long, in my opinion. If you that expert, it took you way too long to stop popping them, making them pay for switching. That is really a no-no. There's only a few who can do it with fluidity and just, make it look easy. And that is Terrence Crawford and Bruce Ennis right now. I can't really think of nobody else who can switch and make it look easy. And not to say that even when they switching, that they can't get popped. Because anything is possible. You wouldn't train a person to do that shit in a fight. Why? So many reasons. You're off balance. You're not even set to be offensive. You're not even set up to be defensive. If somebody wanted to jump on you, somebody who give you pressure like an Isaac Cruz, if Isaac was fighting George Kambosos, the fight would have been over in 2, maybe 3 rounds, if not the first, especially with that switching. So I know a lot of people don't want to give Isaac Cruz no props, but that dude is a force to be reckoned with in the 135 division. He just is. If he ain't shit, then why all the big top dogs don't want to fight him? He has called out Tank. He wants that rematch with Tank. This time he want a full camp to prepare because he took the Tank fight on 2 weeks' notice. And look how good and close that fight was. But, give him a full camp. He think things could turn out differently. Tank told us and the whole world, absolutely not. Hell to the no. More like it. If you're going by the body language and what he did, ain't gonna be, no, we're not doing that. Tank is not interested in the least of getting in the ring with Isaac Cruz anymore. Now, I don't know what he could do, what Isaac Cruz can do with Shakur. Shakur he is so superior. Now that he done moved up in the 135 division, you got to compare him to the other ones in everything that this nigga do. So superior. But he's an elite fighter. So is Devin. So is Lomachenko. I didn't call Isaac Cruz elite, but he banging on the door. And I didn't call Tank Davis elite, but he banging on the door. But those are the fights that Devin is going to have to face if he stay. Now, what fight y'all think he going to take? Now, I put the link in the chat. Reginald, that's for you. You're supposed to break down the Wilder fight, but I'm going to move on. Now, Shields versus Marshall. Y'all know that I've been critical of Shields. I say things because I was like, I know it's hard. And some of these dudes, they don't really want to cross that line. And it's constructive. Again, I'm being fair. I am a fan of Claressa Shields. I want her to do great. Okay, but what she helped me realize, and maybe I should have seen this in me. Maybe I did see this in me, but it just wasn't like apparently black, in the forefront of my mind. Miss T is a little chauvinistic. Can y'all believe it? I never liked chauvinism, but I'm a little chauvinistic because there's things that I grew up with and protocols that I grew up with that I don't see should be a relic of the past. First, let me just talk about how she looked with coming into the ring. What is the video pad? Video editor has expired. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Anyway, when Claressa came in the ring, I'm going to give her the best dress of all time. Coming into the ring. Not coming into the ring. Coming to the venue. Like her arrival gear. Like when she was walking into the O2 arena, coming off the street, whatever. I'm going to give her best dress. And I'm going to put her in the category. I'm putting men and women in the category. If you think optics don't matter, it does matter. Ask Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor dressed like $1 million. So therefore, you have to pay him $1 million. Look at him. Look at Conor McGregor. And look at other fighters who choose not to even try to put something together. They just come. Sure, none of this should matter. But this is the entertainment business. This is all a part of the pomp and circumstance. Claressa Shields get best dress that I've ever seen to this date. And I've seen many fighters, male and female, arrive at the venue. T-Mobile, MGM, State Farm, in LA, wherever, Barclay, when they arrive at the joint, how are they dressed? That dress that she had on, I was like, you do that shit, bitch. You work that. That dress was beautiful. I know y'all probably like, see, none of that. It does. It does. Because I will tell you, it's not fair for, the how it is for women and men, but it's life. A story break right here. When I was young, I played basketball for a long time, just at the court down the street. I played basketball and other sports because it was free. We were poor. I couldn't get into nothing that cost money. I had to do everything that was free, and I like being physical. So I get to high school in my 9th grade year, and I make the junior varsity team. We had a varsity and a junior varsity team. I knew I could play. I played back home with boys and grown men sometimes and other girls who could really play. So they made me better. That's why I like playing with them. They gave me the competition, made me push myself, made me better. So when I tried out for the team, I'm coming in there with that street ball shit, and I got quickly checked. And I had to learn to play formal basketball. My whole JV team was 13 years old. All of us was 13. We was bad as hell, boy. Oh my God, we was balling. They ran the shit out of us that whole summer. So much so, I wanted to quit. And my mom's like, yeah, you can. You don't have to play. But that's next year. You're going to have to finish this year out. You talking about somebody mad? I was so mad at my mom. But it taught me a valuable lesson. Finish what you started. So I was stuck. And like I said, they was running the shit out of us. We had an Olympic-sized track. We was running around that bitch 5 times and the stairs and running in the gym. I mean, God, practice was like 3-4 hours the whole summer. We get to whenever the season starts up in school, and I can't remember the exact season time frame, but it was in the fall. And all I know is the whole JV team, we were 9th graders, but we were all 13 years old. So it had to be like in the beginning, because a lot of us turned 14, a couple of months into the school year. So all I know is my coach, this tall ass dude with these big ass feet, because he used to always stomp his feet on the ground. He wore like a size 15. I ain't never seen no feet so goddamn big. But he would be like, he said, look, when y'all come to the games, and I don't know how it is now, but we played a lot of games back then. That's something that seems like they don't do nowadays. Like they may have one game that week, but we had like 2 games in a week, and our season went quick unless we, once we get into like playoff contention, and you go till you lose. Anyway, he was like, y'all gotta dress up for every game. And I was like, what? Even at school, we gotta dress up? So I told my mom, thinking, oh, now, yeah, she gonna let me quit now. Because we still had to run. That's why I didn't like to be on the team, because all that running. And my mom, I don't know how she did it, but she went and found some clothes. Like, cause she had to buy some wardrobes for me. Like, she had to buy more dresses, skirts, and this, that, and the other. And back then, you had to wear stockings. This is what the girls wore. We wore stockings and slips. The stocking. Like, I have eczema, so I don't know if y'all can understand. Y'all guys probably don't understand. Stockings itch like a motherfucker. Every time I finally make it home at night, and I would get home late at night, I would have whelps all over my legs, and they would be red. Some of them be swollen so bad, and then some of them would split. But I didn't know that. I just thought I just didn't like them. But I didn't know I was having a reaction. I just didn't know back then what that shit was. But the stockings would itch me so bad, and they made us wear that outfit through the whole day of school too. Oh, Lord. So, but when you looked at the boys' games, they didn't make them do none of that. They wore what they wore to school. Jeans, sweatsuit, whatever the fuck they wore. We had to be dressed like we was going to church. I didn't like that shit at all. That was unfair. But I didn't understand the logic in it because I was 13. But as I got older, I understood the logic. And so, now that I'm grown too, I understand what they were trying to say and do. Which is relevant because you could be over before you start. And then, you don't want to bring in extra shit that has nothing to do with the game. Because people want to ostracize you or come at you, wrong or whatever, get your head out the game and all this crap. So we had to do all that. So now that I'm older, I thought I would depart from that. Because again, I didn't like it. I didn't like wearing stockings. Damn sure didn't like wearing the slip. I pulled that slip off for many a day. Ain't nobody knew. Fold that motherfucker up and put it in my bag or something. Lord, and I was, dude, y'all better know I was a rebel. If my mama knew that I was pulling the slip off, she'd have told me, she'd have did something. Don't let me pull the bra off now. I'd do that too, shit. But we didn't have a car in my family, so a lot of times I had to get a ride. So I had to suffer with them shits on till I got home. And I just was like, oh, this is just so fucked up. So I get you wanting to be you. I get that you shouldn't have constraints on yourself that everybody else ain't have it. But if somebody were to task me and say, you know what, I need for you to make women boxing just as big as men boxing and get a lot of casual fans to come in and this, that, and other, it's a couple of things that I would have X'd out. I don't know, when y'all looked at the Claressa fight, did y'all look at, and it's online, her in the locker room? I'm telling you, I couldn't have been a publicist. I would have told the cameraman, get the hell up out of here. Because Claressa and them, the ladies, they need to let their hair down when it's not mixed company. And this is what we as women always taught. When it's mixed company, you need to be on your P's and Q's. Because you don't know how a person going to feel about the optics that they're seeing. Now, I told y'all, hands down, best dress ever. Coming to your arena, coming to your event from outside, getting out your car, coming into the building. I give Claressa Shields big props. That dress was banging. Y'all should go back and look at it. Her hair was tight. That dress was banging. I love the dress. That shit was tight. And I like it. I was like, oh my God, man, that's what I'm talking about. I think Alicia Baumgartner understood the assignment. I have to talk about this with the ladies because this is what's going to bring the casual fans. It's the optics. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can say what y'all want about Conor McGregor, how he loud, and you say how he can be loud and say the bullshit that he say, and Tyson Fury can just be loud and say the bullshit they say, and people think, oh, they're wonderful, they're genius, they're innovative, and they say all that bullshit. But Floyd made that point. They can get away with it, but he couldn't. When he did it, he became a villain. And he ain't never do it on the level that they did it. But that's unfair, right? Same thing with the women and the guys. The shit that guys can do and all that, a lot of times the ladies just can't do. I don't say don't push the envelope as a lady, and I don't say that we're not going to crack that glass ceiling. But it might not be in my lifetime. It might not be right now. These things take time. But if I was tasked to try to drum up the business for female boxing, like to get a lot of casuals to come in, there's certain things that I wouldn't show because it bends the eye of people and ear. It just does. That locker room scene, I wouldn't have let that shit go down. Did she do anything wrong? No. Nothing wrong compared to what I've seen other boxers do, but it bends the eye of people and ears, and either that's something that they got to learn to pick up. She is coming a long way. So I give my shout outs to her and her interview with Michelle Phelps. She did an excellent job. Kudos to Claressa on that one. I didn't know how that shit was gonna go, but you handled it well. But yeah, I didn't like that locker room scene, just as me personally. And I'm sure there's people who watched that and was turned off. And she'll probably say, she don't care. And I'm all for the queen. I'm all for Claressa being the best and this, that, and the other. But I'm just saying, we live in the world in which we live. we live in the world in which we live. And I wouldn't show that. I ain't saying don't do that. Because you was well within your rights. You was happy. You was talking shit and swallowing spit. Don't put it on camera. That's all I would say about that one. How you came into the arena, that shit was bad. Keep up the good work. I like your outfit. I like, she had the American flag pretty much on. And then Baumgartner and Michaela Meyer had great outfits. They pretty much had bolero jackets on. I know some of y'all probably like, Miss Steve, what you talking about? But for the ladies, it is going to be about the optics first. It's just going to be about the optics. And the sooner we accept that, the better off we'll be. But there's a lane that they all can fit in and fit in well. And exacerbate their opportunities. Like make them big or manifest them bigger. But they just got to find them. And it's going to be hard because they're the first to do it, doing it on this level. But that locker room, I don't agree with that. Her interview with Michelle Phelps, kudos. Her arrival gear to the O2 Arena, one of the best outfits I've seen. Second best would be Conor McGregor. And he be wearing tight pants sometimes. He look clean. He look like he worth millions. I mean, not a hair out of place. Clean. You probably look at the back of his shirt. Ain't no ring on the back of the collar of the shirt. He got cufflinks on. Coming to a boxing match. That and look how they treat him. They gotta give him the man respect. They pay him. He's marketable. He's sellable. You know who else understands the assignment in this regards? Baumgartner. Now I know a lot of y'all flock to her because some of the stuff that she was wearing, but she understands the assignment. I'm not saying that everybody should do that, but that's what she's more comfortable in. But there's a lane for everybody. People who are comfortable with that type of stuff and people who are not. But she knows what she's doing too. The HH Diva, she knows what she's doing too. But the goal is to get women boxing to be as big as men, and we got to attract the casuals. And fair or not fair, that has to be a mitigating factor, or what's the things that are fair for women, that the things that we would say that's not fair, the things that men get to do and the women don't. But it is what it is, yo. So I think she's gonna come a long way. She's coming a long way from when she started. But I will point that out. I wouldn't show my locker room scenes because you're gonna hear some. I'm telling you, you already hear it. You already hear it. I ain't even gonna repeat what people say when I'm outside, like not on this podcast, but like people who bring her up and with the the shit that they'll say, like, yeah, people, that shit bends people's ear because it's not what they want to see. So my advice, not that she asks, and I say this respectfully, don't even show your locker room scenes when you're celebrating and having fun. Don't do it. It sends the wrong message. Reginald, you finally popped in. What's up? Can't hear you. What's up?
Hey, Miss T.
What's going on? Sound like you was at the dinner table.
No, I was just cooking my daughter some soup. She got a little ear infection.
Oh, yeah, this is that year.
Yeah, just pity back what you said. Devin look good, I think that 135 is really draining his body because he did look like a zombie. You know what I'm saying? He looked like she's struggling to make 135. And 140 probably suit him a lot better, but all the money's at 135. Yeah. So I understand he want to stay there for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. He said I struggle with the weight, but he doesn't agree with people who say he looked like a zombie. He actually said that, but go ahead.
Yeah, and because all the big fights is at 135. And Bernard stayed at 160 for like 10 years, and T said his body could not do it no more. And eventually, he had to move up. But nobody ain't going to outbox Devin. You can forget that. If you don't got no dynamite, you might as well even start.
You don't think Shakur and Lomachenko can outbox Devin?
No, not Devin. Okay. Devin is the closest thing to Floyd Mayweather. Shakur bad too.
I would say Shakur is the closest thing to Floyd. Me personally.
Yeah. Both of them good, but I think Devin is what you call with that boxing IQ, and he's older than Shakur. Went overseas and fight another man backyard. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Shakur is older than Devin, but go ahead.
And Tank's the only one who got that dynamite that can stop Devin, and that's the only way you want to be a fighter like Tyson Fury. If you ain't gonna blast him out, you ain't gonna outbox him. You think you ain't gonna beat him on points? You ain't gonna beat Devin on points.
So you don't think that Isaac Cruz can hurt Devin?
Yes, I think Isaac Cruz got enough pop to hurt Devin. Mm-hmm. But you need a little bit more power. I'm talking about Tank power, something that's the level we haven't seen.
That is the level that I'm gonna put Isaac Cruz on with his power. I'm gonna put him up there with Tank.
I think Tank got better power.
Tank hit Isaac Cruz flush a lot of times, didn't even flinch. Isaac hit Tank and it hurt. You saw that. That. I don't think he flinched when Tank was hitting him. Normally, Tank hit people with those shots, they go down, they get hurt.
Right.
Isaac took all that shit and was smiling at the end. And Tank said, hell no, I don't want to run this back. So I just say they equal, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this going back to what you said, I think that one thing I don't like when a boxer loses to another fighter, all of a sudden he's better than the person that he beat. You know what I'm saying? Like Cruz got his name by losing to Tank, and I'm like, how he supposed to be better than Tank when he lost to Tank?
No, but see, that's the thing. People see, I have to jump in on this one. I think I'm biased a little bit, I'm gonna admit, because Cruz is one of my favorites. I've been talking about him since last summer. And talking about 2021. Yeah, I can hear you. But Cruz took that fight on short notice. So it was, Tank is an excellent fighter. He's an excellent boxer. Plus he got that power. So in my head, I was like, Tank gonna win this one. But Cruz gonna give him a good fight. And that's exactly what happened. I look at that fight like it could have been a draw. I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to Cruz. I mean, it was just that close. But as far as coming up, Cruz is coming up. He was coming up. That's why they picked him. You know, a lot of people didn't know about Cruz, and some people did because he'd be so far down on the undercard, and his fights were earlier in the day. A lot of people weren't looking at him, but no, people knew about him. The people in boxing knew about him. I don't think Floyd and them picked a good one because I think Tank was shocked when he got that when he got in there and saw how Isaac Cruz fight. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know who could beat Isaac Cruz, but there's somebody who's a more complete fighter who could probably beat him.
I think that I think Devin would beat him on points. I think Shakur would beat him on points. And and I really believe that Tank's the only one that come in there and blast all them guys out. He kind of remind me of the 135 Wilder. You could be beating his butt for 12 rounds, and all of a sudden, like Isaac Cruz or Rolly, bow like good night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And switching the subject, man. I lost $80 on that fight. Man, that sucker was over like it. On Wilder, the Wilder.
Last night?
The Wilder pay-per-view fight, man, that sucker was over so quick. I thought he was going to at least go about 4 or 5 rounds.
I was thinking, how you lose, champ? You went for the champ, right?
Yeah, you know.
You was talking about how quick it was over.
Yeah, man, I had my buzz on, man, and he knocked him out. I'm like, God damn.
Was that just the first round, right?
Yeah, the first round.
I saw the highlight then.
No, Ryder, one thing about Wilder, it's not new with him knocking everybody out the first round. But I'm glad that he came in at 214. Anything under 220, Wilder is devastating and it's dynamite. And like I think I told you about earlier, as long as he don't get into it with Fury again, I don't think nobody can beat him. But I think Fury just got his number.
But you know what? If Fury got the belt, then he has to face him again. Fury is not off limits until he don't have the motherfucking belt. That belt could have been on the line as well with the AJ and Usyk fight. It could have been on the line. They even say with Ortiz and Ruiz fight. It could have been on the line for Wilder and Helenius. But Fury playing hide the belt. He don't want to get that bitch up, but he don't want to play by boxing rules. Yeah, he satisfied his mandatory, but I think if Fury had his way, he'd just sit back and chill until he get to fight who he want to fight. Everybody else got to, navigate and maneuver and do all this shit that they got to do to get a fight, but Fury don't. He been threatened twice to be stripped from the WBC, and twice he evaded it. So.
But you know what? Fury, just like Floyd, when you beat everybody in your era and you the best of the best, you know what I'm saying? You get special privileges like Floyd has special privileges. Fight people who he want to fight. And Fury deserved that same recognition.
Fury ain't nobody sitting back. I ain't say he don't deserve. He at the tail of his end of his career. He can grab all he want. He don't get to hold up the weight division. He don't get to sit back and just don't do nothing like, trying to like when he said 500 million or not, or I ain't fighting you. You can't do that, shawty. Motherfuckers got goals to trying to be undisputed. You cannot hold that belt when you say you retire. He really did say he retired. They should have took the belt. Ain't nobody forced him to say that shit. They should have took the belt, but they didn't. You can't. This is what I mean by you can't do that. As far as him going on a money grab campaign, I don't care. He at the end of his career, he can do that.
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be fighting Derek Chisora, or him and Usyk might be in talks again. And Wilder got Louise to knock out, and once he knock him out, then we see where it goes. But I don't want to see Wilder Fury 4, man, because if Wilder do win, the haters gonna say, "Oh, well, he lost the first 3 fights." You know what I'm saying?
If Wilder become undisputed, that's all I would care about. Was Usyk at the fight?
No, he didn't show up at the fight. He didn't want that work, man. And I wouldn't blame him. I would not blame him.
Well, Wilder, I said it on the show the other day. I said Wilder put out, "Don't let this fight scare y'all off now."
Right. You know, I don't care. I don't care who you is, but if you a heavyweight, you got to respect that right hand, man. You know what I'm saying? And going off of that, Claressa Shields, she looked good. And,
hey, did you see the dress she was wearing when she arrived at the O2 Arena? Won't that bad? I don't know.
I ain't see it. I saw the weigh-in though, but I didn't see the dress that she walked in though.
That dress was bad. Y'all should go look it up. That dress was bad. Well, hey, welcome to the building, Tay. I ain't seen you in a minute. Tay said Cam tried to use switch stance to nullify the jab. He did in a sense for a minute. He just couldn't keep it up. Why won't Ware fight Joshua? I don't know what you mean, Tay. Type it too fast. Why is he so against it? Who cares? Make it bag fuck PBC and how. But Tay over there being a little militant, the young man. But Reginald, go ahead. I'm sorry I be interjecting and stuff, but you thought about Shields and Marshall. Honestly, honestly.
It was a tough fight, man. And Claressa said it, man. That girl hits hard. And if you look at Carissa's face, she got lumped up. And Marshall didn't look that much lumped up.
Devin Haney got lumped up. Did y'all see the knots on his cheekbone?
Yeah.
When I told y'all that Camboso hit him a couple of times and Devin fell into the clinch, if he never tried to clinch Camboso, he could have failed. That could have probably been possible. But I know people don't want to hear that or believe it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And Baumgartner looked good too. You know what I'm saying? Just like we talked about earlier. I could agree with a lot of things that they say, but like they say, they still gotta. You know what I'm saying? They talking hard and want to be rough like the guys, and they're gonna turn off a lot of people.
I'm trying to say it. I know that's hard. Like I said, I'm so appreciative to you who talked with me with this, because I wouldn't talk about it just by myself. I would love to always have a guy. It's okay, guys, to say certain things. It's how you say it. You know what I'm saying? It's how you say it. But this is boxing. It's not a beauty contest or anything like that. And it shouldn't never be approached like that or treated like that. And hats off to all the ladies who fought on that card. But it's like you just said, you're going to bend the ear and the eye of somebody. Hell, there's a whole swat of people that don't even think women should even be boxed. Never mind what they see when it happens. It's not going to work for you. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like this one, not you, but I'm saying to all the ladies, it's not going to work for you to be in there braggadocious and all like you are. It just doesn't work. It don't work for any of us. Whenever I lap a nigga, real talk, Reginald, whether I was in sports or in my job or just in life or in school, I never sit around and spike the ball and do the dance. Not with guys, because y'all be emotional as a bitch. But you best believe when we get behind closed doors and there's nothing but us girls, I'm like, did I whack this ass or what? But it's not meant to be seen. Because even a guy that didn't happen to can empathize with the next guy. Y'all have great empathy when it comes to shit like that for your fellow man. But with us women, we be like, she was having a ball, and I don't blame her. But the world didn't need to see that. We should not see that. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
You saw it? You saw her locker room stuff?
Claressa Shields?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that part.
Go back and look at it. I don't know how long you'll be able to hang in there, but go back and look at it. When you come back tomorrow, I hope you look at it today. But when we end the show and everything, go back and look at it, because I doubt if you hang in there long. I didn't even hang in there long, because
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know what it's gonna do. I wish it was fair. I wish it was fair. If it was fair, I'd be sitting there right there, be like, oh, okay. Oh, but it's not fair. Life ain't fair. It's just not fair. And it's a turnoff. It's going to be, I hate to say it, but I'm just being honest, y'all. Yeah, I'm being honest. And I don't want none of them fighters to curse me the fuck out and be like, bitch, what you talking about? I beat your motherfucker. Yes, you can beat my ass. Yes, it's not cool to take a step back, but I'm just saying, if the goal is to build women's boxing and all that, you got to understand anything that the person who was at the bottom, when they make gains, they have to, it's slow and steady. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just slow and steady. It's things that, like I said, with Tyson Fury, how he talked, and how Conor McGregor, how he talked, that they talk worse than Mayweather ever did. But it was bad when Mayweather did it, but it was okay. It was innovative. It was brash. It was new. It was exciting. It was clever when they did it. And why you think that is? Because life ain't fair.
Right.
And Mayweather point that out all the time. And I remember when Mayweather said back in the day, he said, I would have been a billionaire if I was white. And I believe him.
I believe it too.
So when I'm talking about the ladies, look, we can only do but so much. Slow and steady. Just keep, breaking that glass ceiling. I rebelled. I'm telling you, I rebelled in my day. My mom put a dress on me. I pulled the fucking slip off. That motherfucker was in the way. It was getting on my nerves. Pulled it off, folded it up neatly, put it in the bag, put that shit back on before I came home. Now, what girl wear a slip? So I was right. I was right. After all, but in my day, you better have a motherfucking slip on. Who wearing stockings nowadays? I was right. But in my day, shit, you better have a stockings on. So it's slow and steady. I rebelled. And now look at my generation of women. We rebelled against whatever we rebelled against. And now it made it easier for the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. I'm not saying that the ladies shouldn't push the envelope, but, you can only go but so far.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't even going to, I really want you to go look at it. That's your homework, Reginald. Go look at that. Go look at her locker room after the fight thing. I hope they still got it up.
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere.
And then come back when you come back tomorrow. Whenever you come back, let me know. Did you like it? I bet you. I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I mean that's I've been following both ladies, man, and it's just a turn off. It's just it's got to be some changes.
Got to be some change going on, and we say that with all due respect. We want you to win, but I'm just being honest, and that's what. And when I'm outside, and people ask me because they know that I like boxing, they know that I train boxing. They know that I was doing it. I used to train kids boxing, and they know that I work with adults in boxing in the gym. At the gym I used to work at, but they would come and ask me, and they always, when they talk about female boxing, they bring her up, and they want to see what I say. But I already feel the insult right there. I already feel it. I already know it's there. But depending on what I say, would depend on what they would say. Because if I say something similar to what they may say, and I would never disrespect Claressa and never say nothing negative about her. I would just say, nah, that's not a good, like, nah, don't do that. That right there is I sort of no, don't do that. You know, those are just suggestions or opinions, but they want to say more. The people that want to say more, but I don't even give them a chance to disrespect her. I already know what they want to say.
Right.
I already know, and it's sad. And I be just sitting there like, you can't get past that. You just can't talk about the fight. And the answer is no. They can't get past that. It's a ears. It bends the ear and it bends the eye. But she won. That was a very close fight. Did you think it was
Yeah.
close?
Yeah, it was real. Second half of the fight was real close.
I thought Marsha was putting it on her too, but
Yeah,
Clarissa
she.
stood her ground, and
Yeah, but I think Carissa, when she go back and forth to
mhm.
MMA boxing, it's gonna take a toll on. It's gonna take a toll on you. You know what I'm saying? And sooner or later, man, you gonna have an off night, and they're probably gonna lose. I'm not surprised if
Mhm.
she lose her next fight because this girl put some heat on her ass. And she even said it that Marsha busted her eye out that she couldn't see for the last 6 to 10 rounds because Marsha put that heat on.
Mhm. Look at the young ones, Reginald, Mr. Tay, Mr. My little man right there. He 19. He said, "I feel like that's an older generation thing. How did it not work? Men need to stop being insecure." But the older people, Tay, got the money, so you got to follow the money. The older people got the money to burn like that. Young people ain't got that kind of long money to do all this extracurricular and all that stuff. And it's still with
Right,
us. Like we can rewire each other as much as we can. Women have had to change, change things that was typical women shit, so called, and men have had to change too. Like I can tell you, in my day, the guys didn't go in the delivery room. But now all of y'all go in and witness y'all child come into this world. That's a beautiful thing. You could have been doing
right.
it all along. But my daddy missed the boat. He didn't come in. But to the men who did come in and see that beautiful transaction, hey, you know what I'm saying? Well, men, you got single fathers now, single parent that are single parents. Two of my daughter's best friends were all through junior high and high school were raised by men. No woman around. Like one of her friends, the dad, he was like, I would call him a sucker for romance because he would always fall for these women and be all in, and then come back later and be like, what happened to him? Like, oh, no, whatever. But and
You
he
probably
wasn't a player. He wasn't even a player or nothing. He was really like a romantic, but
right.
he just was. He was uneven
He,
yoked with whoever he was picking.
he must have ran out of money, Miss T. I'm keeping from a guy point of view.
Oh, okay.
You know, when our money get tight, man, these girls be they be leaving,
All
dog.
right, could be that
So you,
too. But he
you
he
gotta
was a very nice looking man too. He's a very nice looking man, and if he wanted to be a player, the dude could be a player. He want a black guy, but if he wanted to be a player, he could. But he wasn't like that. He wanted to find love. He was a sucker for love, and
yeah,
but he was a single parent. Him and his wife had divorced, and he had like three sons and two daughters or something like that, and he had an older daughter, and something happened, so he was like, my girl's gonna be with me because I be damn. So
right,
my daughter hung with his youngest daughter, um, but we will switch off, watch each other kids. I'm tripping. That for me is big because I never would have thought that I'm gonna put my child in the hands of any man. Like I'm just not doing that. Like, cause it was that old
right,
school mindset. But
right,
hey, he kept my daughter for the weekend, gave me a break. I would give him a break. We was parenting out this bitch, and then her other friend, uh, he had his daughter and his son, and he was single parent, and we exchanged recipe. We was all like moms up in that motherfucker, with all
Right.
due respect. And I thought it was nice and beautiful because they changed me, because instead of just having that thought in my mind right off the rip, I was like, oh, let me get to know them. Let me be around them and see. But matter of fact, most of my daughter's friends, they were raised by their dads because it was a girl down the street. The dad always
Yeah.
had them, and that was new.
Yeah.
And I was a single parent up here, so I was like, okay, chauvinism still exists. Is all I'm saying. I'm a person
Yeah.
who rallied against chauvinism. I didn't like it because it always had the woman catching the short end of the stick. But some things I do agree with. I'm sorry. You're not going to rewire men to look at us no different than how they look at us.
Right.
That's that to me. If I was a publicist for female boxing, that would be something that I will always keep in mind. Um,
Right.
so like in the locker room, no cameras up in here. None. You don't need to. That's not part of the fight game. It don't have to be. People can mind their own business. They'll see you when you come out.
Right.
At the press conference, and then just the other things we had touched on. But yeah, when you do your homework, I'm gonna be like, what you think? Be ready for a whole breakdown. Tell me how far into it that you got.
I'm gonna check it out, man.
you ain't gonna last long. That's my prediction. Tay said, "You mean build it to make men feel more comfortable?" No, Tay, no. I'm saying. My grandma used to say you could catch more flies with honey. Okay. All right. So, as Tupac said, I was given this word. I didn't make it. I didn't make the rules, Tay. The rules are what they are. Tradition and society norms are what they are. If you want to make it, if this is what you're saying you're trying to accomplish, then certain things got to be prevalent on your pathway. And I even gave the example of a Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor acts wild and crazy, but look how he dressed. What other dudes are dressing like him? But when you pay Conor McGregor, what you got to pay him? Millions. Right. You see what I'm saying? That dude had a whole suit on. That suit looked like it costs a grip. I mean, I'm not in favor of tight pants on a man, but hell, it's the style these days. But he had the nice shirt, and the way it was clinging to him, and his hair didn't look out of place. I mean, and he ain't the nicest looking man ever. Conor McGregor, I wouldn't say is so hellified attractive, but I bet you he had a whole lot of females just looking at him, probably casual fans, probably like, you know what? I think I'm interested. I think I want to go look at his MMA fight. I think I want to go look at him boxing. Job done, Tay. He did the job.
He could bang too. And he could fight too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But he understood the assignment. When Baumgartner did the weigh-in, did she not understand the assignment?
Right.
She understood the assignment.
They just be acting out wild and
I ain't like her. I don't like her language. Yeah.
Reckless. I'm just like, ugh.
See, that's like Reginald said. Ugh. And then the people that got the money to spend, those the people that the cable is in their name in the house.
Right. Those the people who's going to make you rich beyond your wildest dream. And your mouth is fucking it all up.
And tell you, your generation is so much better than ours. Because y'all don't hold a lot of shit against people, and y'all are more fair when it comes to stuff like that. The stuff that bothered us don't bother y'all. But until y'all are the leaders, as far as you're the older generation, you got to refer to us. Because you live at the college. I know you in college. but your home is with your parents, and then everything is in their name. So when shit get, when people get to slinging dollars around that motherfucker, that's your parents. That ain't you. So if I'm trying to sell something, I'm not catering to you. I'm gonna cater to the people who got the money. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? He said 73. I think she tried. I think she tired out, which is why it was closer. PGH Big Dog is in the building. What's happening, brother? What's happening, King? He said, doesn't mean you can't change them. You can't tell. I'm not saying for them not to push the envelope. I'm just saying be cognitive of what works and what don't. There ain't but so much rewiring you gonna do to
Right.
men. You want them as fans. You don't want them derailing or stifling or throwing a monkey wrench in your shit. And they will. This is what
Best
we
believe
don't
that.
want. We're talking about the fight business, not what clothes you had to wear for certain events. I tell you, if you believe that, I'm gonna let you have it, your generation. But I'm telling you, um, you gotta have something to strike people's eye.
Right.
And
You
for
gotta let
women, it will always be about the optics. It will always be, and
always.
it's so unfair. And look,
Right.
I'm a woman who got to go through this shit. It is so
Right.
unfair, but it is what it is.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And perfect example, our situation came out in a news story. Like if you want to be an anchor on a major news network, you gotta be pretty. You gotta be blonde
Mm-hmm.
hair. You can't be really too dark. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All that matters because the first appearance is everything. I don't care how good you can fight. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Is
Yeah,
is what they see and what come out your mouth. And those two ladies
exactly.
got a nasty ass mouth, man.
Yeah,
Nobody
and
want to
some
hear
people
that
can't
shit.
take it. Some people, men, a Tay generation, they don't hold stuff like that against folks. But everybody else generation, Tay, yeah, they do. They will hold
Uh,
that shit against you. It is so wonder that Oprah is as successful as she is. She's
right,
an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
she wasn't supposed to make it. Not
No,
not in the shell that she came through.
no, you right. Not how she started. She was going up
Yeah.
against Phil Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, and she crushed all of them.
She was a when she started her her hair won't like it is how we know
Right.
Oprah now. Oprah made some power moves. Oprah
Power
was
move.
fat, she was dark skinned, and
Fat,
she wasn't supposed to make it.
big
But they
lips.
loved him some Oprah. It was her language, shouted. It was how she
Right.
came across. How she talked to you. She
How
didn't
she
bend
talk.
your ear. You know what I'm saying? You won't go into Oprah to look for beauty and just be stargazing and all that shit. You was going there to hear some shit and learn some shit. White people love
Right.
her. It was her
This,
language shouting.
right. You know what I'm saying? And Chris is make a few adjustments in the communication department, man. Then she could easily start getting those endorsements,
Hell
man.
yes.
Easy money.
Hell yes. And to this day, she is the best dressed person coming to their fight, like coming from the street into the arena. That I'm telling you, man, that dress, I stood up, I was like, oh my God, that motherfucker bad. That dress was bad. Kudos to whoever dressed her, man. Or if she dressed herself, that shit was top notch. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So did I like the girls, Michaela and Baumgartner outfits coming into the ring. You can't do it like the guys. Michaela Meyer
Right.
had on like a bolero.
Oh, for real?
Why do I notice these things? Because I'm gonna notice some shits. But that's how you're gonna get me to come in, into watching you. But if you're gonna talk like you talk, I'm from and call me chauvinistic, Reginald. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just old school. But I don't want to see all that shit. I don't want to hear that shit.
Right. No, not at all.
And so if your fight came to my town and it was $32 or $50, I would pay for it. But I'm not breaking a whole lot of bread. Like I'm not gonna get on the plane to go see that. I'm just
Right.
not. And the only way that you can change, you have to endear me to it. I'm already with y'all. I want to be a fan, and I'm going to be a fan, and I'm going to advocate for women boxing, all that stuff. But just certain little things is easy fixes, easy little tweaking, fixes, and
That's it.
it'd be good for everybody. Like I said, don't take them in your locker room unless you're on your P's and Q's. Don't do that. And guess
Exactly.
what? It's unfair. And I'm saying it's unfair, but it got to be done. Somebody got to say it.
Yeah, somebody need to pull that coattail. The managers, promoters. Hey, y'all leaving a whole lot of money on the sideline.
On the table. But as far as how Claressa, talking to the commentators, and she has gotten so much better. She actually did an interview with Michelle Phelps. I mean, Claressa is heads and tails so much improved from when she first started. I was like, oh my goodness. So she can do it. She is there to do it.
Yeah, and she had in the right direction.
You got to pick your moments. But that fight was close. And we move on to Baumgartner and Mayer. Like I said, I'm going to give them the best dress of the night as far as their outfit coming into the ring. And that shit matters. Because that's what people looking at. If they'd have just put on the towel like Mike Tyson used to do, ain't nobody coming to that. You know what I'm saying? But, Baumgartner and them, they had nice little outfits. Mayer, too. That fight, to me, was a draw. I'm not mad that they gave it to Baumgartner, but it was way too close. Baumgartner said she gonna dog walk her. Did she dog walk her?
No.
She said she gonna knock out all the shit. Did she do it? No. Neither one of them went, pulled the head of the other one. That I could tell. Like, Michaela had her moments and Baumgartner had her moments. I didn't see no daylight in between how far they pulled away from each other.
Right.
I call it a draw. I could not have been a judge in Claressa's fight or Baumgartner's fight because I was like, man, all of them did well. All of them did well, and it was just too close for comfort. But the walkout song, my bad, I'm gonna shut up. The walkout song, I gotta give it to my boy Devin Haney. You can hate me. It shit match. It fit. It was in the moment. I don't know what everybody else was playing. So one of the ladies played Sweet Dreams from Eurythmics. I'm a big fan of Eurythmics.
Yeah. What you know about that?
What you know about that? Sweet
That's before your time.
Yeah, I wrote. That was my joint. Who am I to disagree?
Annie Lennox.
Yeah, Annie Lennox. I'm a big fan of Eurythmics.
Yeah.
I said, oh shit. When that song come on, even if I'm in the club, that should still be bumping to me.
Yeah, she from that part of Europe, England, somewhere over there in France, somewhere.
She from the UK. I don't know if she Ireland or Scottish or I don't know where, but she from over there.
Yeah, she from over
there. She had like the white hair, but I liked her. I liked all her music and everything. The other person that kind of had that look to me was Billy Idol. That was my boy.
Yeah.
It's a nice day for a white wedding. People be like, but see how you know that shit, man. I'm telling you, I used to watch MTV because MTV was the first and only video music thing that was out. There was no BET at first and none of that shit.
Right, man. They was really playing this Prince and Michaels.
That was it.
That was it.
That was the only black folks. You remember when they had the world premiere? Man, look, a little short story. I got my ass whooped. I got banked. The day that the world premiere of Beat It came out. Ain't that some shit? The only fight I can think of that I lost as a child. I got banked. And I was winning the fight with the one person I was fighting with. And then everybody, she was backing me up, and this guy got on his knees and stuff. And so she bum rushed me, and of course I fell over on him, and he got out the way. And then her and her friends just jumped me. And shit, I mean, they beat the shit out of me, man. I ain't even front. Because even, look, and I was 11 years old. I'm all the way in high school, like 10th grade. And, I just kept getting taller. Those girls never grew. And I'll be in school, and they be like, get her ass now. You get her ass now. I'm like, nah, I can't sign no fight. They be like, come on now. Come on. You can beat their ass now. This is like so long later, but they beat me so bad, man. I had knots in my ears. I mean, they beat the dog shit. I mean, they beat my ass. And then my mom, she had heard them singing that song, because they had to, from where it happened, they had to pass my house on their way home. It was a group of them. So my mom had told me she had heard them say, beat it, because it was very popular, right?
Right.
So when I got home, my mom was like, what the fuck? And I had, like I told, I had knots in my ear, man, big ass knot. That come from kicking me in my head and all kinds of shit. So my mom was like, we going to each and every one of their house. And we did. And I remember we got to, I ain't even gonna tell a girl name, but we got to this one chick house. And we was sitting there. My mom was telling her mom, and her mom was like, shocked, and she wasn't happy with her daughter doing that type shit. And then next thing you know, they said the world premiere of Beat It, and everybody stopped, and we all looked at that premiere. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, Mike was the man.
I thought that was so hilarious. We over there telling on the girl, and we all stopped and looked at the
damn. Yeah, these kids don't know nothing about that, man. They missing out something wonderful, man.
I know, man. That shit was crazy, but they got my ass. But once, like I said, I don't know what age I started shooting up. Because at 11 years old, I wore a size 1. I was so damn little. But look, I could throw them hands, Reginald. I could throw them hands. And the girl that I was beating up, she was like 15. Cock diesel ass motherfucker. I was beating her ass. Because I had been taking karate too. And so I was that's why I say I know about my stance. The girl kept trying to come in, and I just moved, angle wise. Pop! I kicked her in the head. I kicked her like with all 3 of the kicks that I learned how to do by that time. And she just couldn't get to me. And she probably like, this little bitch. And so they decided, we must break you. And they jumped on me. There was so many girls. And the crazy part is, my sister was up there with me. But she was sitting way on the other side of the field. And they beat me so bad, I couldn't even get up. I tried to get up out the grass, and I sunk back down. And I just laid there, and I was not going to move. I didn't have the strength to cover up no more. I mean, they beat the hell out of me. And they said, let's go get her sister. And I tried to get up. I heard somebody say that. And I said, oh, my God, they going to really hurt my sister. Because my sister really wasn't a fighter like that. But she could fight a little, but she wasn't a fighter. But not 15 girls coming at you. And then they got over there. They didn't beat on her too long because they knew they figured I could take it or whatever. When I tell you, man, they didn't let up on me. And my sister older than me. They hit her a couple of times. There wasn't nothing she could do. Because I was laying in the grass, my eyes was open. I couldn't hear nothing. But I could see from, across the field that they was, they hit her a couple of times. And then they were satisfied. But they beat me. That's my one and only ass whooping, y'all.
Yeah,
All the other fights, I won. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, back in the days, man, this before people started using guns to sell their beats. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You get a little lump but you pretty much live and
Yeah.
go on to the next day. Now people get a gun and they'll kill that person. Now they doing life without parole
Mm-hmm.
over something, something that could have been settled, in the right way.
Yeah, it's like so many reasons people got to kill somebody. But when I was coming up, it wasn't that many reasons you had to kill somebody. You
Right.
couldn't think of no reason. Most people died from playing with a gun or getting hit by a car when I was young.
Yeah,
Kids
you
wise.
like right. You might have get your butt wrecked, man, but you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
man? You wasn't getting shot. Your house didn't get shot up. They didn't do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know
Hit
what
you.
they did in Detroit, but mainly is when somebody else got killed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You
It
know what
kind
I'm
of humbled me getting beat in as far as not being as confident. Cause like I said, I could throw my hands. Oh, I had plenty of fights. Plenty of fights.
right.
And it was
Oh,
boys and girls, and I beat everybody ass. But I got my
let me
ass that day.
let me tell you the story that I got beat up by a girl.
Oh
I
shit.
Yeah, I think I was probably maybe about 8, and me and my friend, we was messing with this girl. This is the first time I realized if the girl like you, she ain't gonna do nothing to you. So my friend hit her on the butt, and she was like Kiki and whatever. And I went and hit on the butt, man, and she turned around and smacked the dog shit out my ass, man. And I
Ah.
was crying, and but I'm like, I went home crying, but on my way home, I realized she done smacked my boy. He did it first. That's why I
Uh-huh.
realized if a girl like you, she ain't gonna do
Mhm.
that. Cause she liked my boy, but she didn't like me. You know what I'm saying?
Them hard lessons, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But boys hit you and pick on you when they like you. But when we young too, we don't know that. We just were like, oh, I can't stand them. To the dude named Keith. I can't remember your last name, but if you out there somewhere looking at this thing, when you used to stick me in the knee with the safety pin and shit, and then I would yell in the class, and this is during quiet time. Boy, he would do so much shit to me, and my teacher would get up and get me. Back then, they could whip your asses. I have to go in the closet and wait on
right,
the ass
right.
whipping.
They don't know nothing
And
about that. They don't know nothing about that.
keep you was fucking my knees up, boy. You know, and I ain't like you. We was probably like 6 or 7. I could have liked you, but you was sticking me with needles, so I ain't like you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the funny shit growing up. But like I said, you grow up with all this chauvinism, and the chauvinism to me is usually always going to mean somebody come up short. But there's male chauvinism and then there's female chauvinism. And I try to let go all of it, but some things I cannot let go because we're not gonna change certain things,
Right.
So that's all we were saying. But the Plant and the Rail fight, I did not see. I saw the highlight. I saw that
Yeah,
knockout.
yeah. From the jump, both of them was fighting good, but I knew Darrell had a lot of miles on him. He had a lot of wear and tear on him, and he was a lot older. And if you listen
Mm-hmm.
to him talk, he got that, he started got that little slur, punch drunk speech. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And I knew it, and I knew that Plank could fight, and I thought Plank was gonna beat him, but I didn't know he was gonna knock him out like that.
Yeah,
And
Plant was confident. The little highlights that I saw, he was real confident. He beat the dog out the dog. Sweet
he
Hand showed up and showed out. Beat his
and,
ass.
and
The
I like
dog ain't
that
had no
white boy.
answer.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like Caleb Plant too because I like
yeah, I
his
like that white boy.
I like his smoothness and his confidence, and I like the fact that he's an underdog and he always show up and
Right,
show out. He
right,
leave it in the ring. I didn't like
right,
when he was looking for validation from Canelo. I could do without that
right,
one when he did that, but
right.
outside of that, I like everything else. And then you got Andre lurking in the corner. I like Andre. He's saying, run me that shit. And I'm thinking, is he gonna get the opportunity?
Andre full of shit, man.
Look, I guess his focus is shifted from Canelo. If you think about it, all of them taking Canelo advice and seeking life elsewhere because they all finding something else to do. Canelo's like, stop worrying about me, stop riding my dick. Y'all go mix it up with each other. And then they starting to do that.
Right. You want a payday?
Payday. And then look, I'll move on to this. Steven Espinosa want to come out and say Ryan and Tank is close. I don't believe it. That shit don't work no more. We ain't falling for it.
Right, just like Spence and what you call her. I don't want to hear nothing about it no more.
Last time I checked, Steven, you work for Showtime. You supposed to like I like when my friend kicked the DJ in his ass, said, get in there and spin some records. Get in there and put something on the network.
Right.
You work for Showtime. You're not supposed to be, doing promoter, manager shit like that. I don't know. You work for Showtime. Put the motherfucking fights on and just worry about that. And I don't know how you be a part of negotiation. You ain't nobody manager or whatever.
Right. Like Suge Knight, all up in the videos, all on the records.
Steven, we not listening to you no more. They be cracking me up when they call him a weasel because that's his animal right there. That's what they call. And then look, Benavidez is now gonna they finalizing that fight with Uskatiki. Remember he was supposed to fight him last November.
Right.
But Uskatiki popped dirty. So he on my shit list forever in the day.
Right.
This one I say due to this one I'm gonna say that Uskatiki seemed light in the ass to fight a David Benavidez. David gonna make him pay. I think he's gonna make him pay for missing the fight, taking him through all this bullshit. But David want to stay in contingency, to be the next one up in line, to maintain his place in line for Canelo. And I don't know why they think Uskatiki is a person he need to fight, but he need to. David feel like he need to fight everybody that they can be like, but what about this person? What about that person? He need to. He basically need Canelo to shut up and never say y'all fight each other. Y'all go mix it up with each other. Because Canelo, ain't nobody forcing him like the WBC is slow to force Canelo to defend against his mandatories or, just mix it up and fight, defend the titles. The WBC ain't pushing them, and the favorite is slinging hard on Canelo's side. But Benavidez wants to smoke with David Morrell too, who is a WBA regular 168 pound. And then, when he beat Uskatiki, who's ranked number 7 in the WBA, it ain't gonna be too many people that y'all can say, yeah, David, go fight this person, go fight that person. But that's what's going on right now. And Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall look like their fight is going to be in the UK February 4th, 2023. And it's going to be shown on ESPN Plus. And the only belt that Taylor is holding, believe it or not, is the WBO. I don't think, what y'all think? I don't know what to think about this. Catterall beat your ass. He should be undisputed, period. Point blank, period. And you didn't drop every motherfucking belt because recently he dropped the IBF belt too.
Right. Yeah, I think that maybe they gonna give him a little bit of extra money in his purse, and he just going through with the fight.
That shit, like, tell me, that ain't no consolation prize. That's you got robbed. Talking to Catterall. Everybody saw that you got robbed. Fucking Josh Taylor know you was a part of a robbery. And then you go on this campaign to drop all the belts, but you gonna tell him you can have a rematch. It won't about just fighting you, nigga. Who is you? It was about getting those fucking belts. And now Catterall can't have all them belts because you didn't drop them. But he wanted the word. I do want to give him a rematch. Well, nigga, if you wanted to give him a rematch, you'd have did that shit a month or two after the fight. You'd have put that shit in the works then.
Right.
You didn't want to, but the backlash, you can't believe the backlash that you got.
Yeah, the people talking. Sometimes the fans could push the dictator the next fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Floyd, he was forced to fight Madonna again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the fans, like he said, like Reginald said, we have a lot of clout. We have a lot of all of that. We can move mountains if we
unify. Right, if we remain together.
If we unify. And like this PBC boycott thing, we're gonna see how that work out. You know, if Showtime is gone, if PBC don't have a network, they done.
Yeah.
They done. Yeah. And you know, if Showtime going broke because he listening to everything Al Heyman and Floyd be saying, that's their own fucking fault. Ain't nobody told you to do that. You can't play with the fans.
One thing about Showtime, there's so many other TV networks out here now, all on the internet. Nobody just don't want to see Showtime when you got 50 other Netflix. You got you got so many other
Tubi. I watch Tubi, Peacock.
Right.
I watch all that shit.
What's the Showtime? What's the HBO when you really think about it?
Any movie that I've seen in the past and I want to see again, I can find on one of these, like you said, these networks or these subscriptions
for free,
like Netflix for free, or
for free.
I got Netflix like most everybody got,
right?
And Hulu and all that other stuff for the free, But the Tubis, the Peacocks, and all that, I can see everything I want. Boom, right there, But you're right, Showtime. Y'all didn't have to mess up the boxing part, but y'all did it.
Right.
I just hope that they remember the model that they chose to follow and don't ever do that shit again. Learn from your lesson.
It ain't no money, man. Like I said, the Zone got money. You know what I'm saying? They got deep pockets because they international. Mm-hmm. But I think when they hooked up with Eddie Hearn, that's what they hooked up. They shipped to the wrong promoter because Eddie Hearn ain't from America. If they would have hooked up with Bob Arum or maybe with PBC, then they were like, y'all find this network. You know what I'm saying?
Why you bullshitting? If the Zone would have came over here, they already got their infrastructure and their money. They should have hooked up with somebody like Don King.
Yeah.
I can see that because one thing about Don King, he put on interesting fights. He will
good fight.
He could put on interesting fights.
Yeah.
Everybody else is in their feelings, got their ass on their back and wasting fans' times and shit. Like this is the only sport that I like and I get to enjoy, and you guys are fucking it up on purpose. And if it come out that Eddie was really, really in cahoots with Conor being, like knowing that he was popping dirty and Eddie was still forging forward, trying to get this dude fight or making him fight people just because they getting the paid, he knowing that Conor was motherfucking dirty. I don't know what that gonna mean for the Zone. Eddie don't own the Zone. The Zone is a separate entity from Matchroom, but Eddie, that's his network. They work with him.
Right. And AJ's still a big draw over there in Europe. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so they're going to be okay with England because one thing about England, they love boxing over there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Going back.
And Eddie better be, I'm sorry to interrupt, Eddie better be careful because they got a new box, like fairly new or it's really blowing up now. Boxer. You ever heard of Boxer?
Yeah, I think so. They was doing a little advertising on TV.
They put on the fight this weekend with Claressa and them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they like the equivalent to Eddie Hearn over there with Matchroom.
It's okay. It's good. That's good for everybody there. The fans
Mm-hmm.
gonna win there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Eddie, I don't like him. And that fisheye guy, the other one, Warren, don't like him either.
What's his name? Is it Frank Warren?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
But it was a great weekend. Everybody that I
Yes.
picked was gonna win won. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah.
going with Pratt, Wilder, going with both sisters. So I would have made a lot of money if I would have bet.
I know, right? But y'all know Reginald, ATL, me, some of the guys that come through here, y'all know we're gonna be critical sometimes, but we being fair. So,
Yeah,
it was a great weekend of boxing. As I always say, that the fall is slowed up. It's not, sometimes there ain't no news, ain't no breaking news. And I don't try to do fluff, but so much. I don't fluff,
right,
like trying to make
right.
a story out of no story. But I'm gonna try to be here Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if it's nothing to talk about, then we just gonna have a day off. And
Yeah,
stay busy though. Stay busy. Like right now, I'm teaching myself something, and shit is funny. Like it's not easy to me because I'm out of my realm, but it's not a hard thing. Other folks will say, "Oh, this is not hard," but it's not easy to me. But we're gonna see how it go, and hopefully I got some good things to say. I think tomorrow or maybe Thursday I'm gonna tell y'all something that I acquired because I might put that in the raffle. I know all of y'all to jump on this one, but I ain't gonna
yeah.
tell y'all what it is.
I'm, I'm gonna be there, ears waiting too.
Because I said, like one thing too, I'm notorious for being a preventative person. Like I spend more time in my life trying to be in preventive measurement mode. Meaning, when you lock your door behind you, when you come in the house and slam and put your alarm on right quick, you are being in preventative mode. Like women are big time preventative people, and so I try to do all my preventative measurements, is this, that, and the other, and all that stuff. But when I'm licked, I'm licked. And so, like I said, I try to do things ahead of time all the time. And that's why I say, like, I probably jumped the gun on this one. This thing, I wish I could say it now, but I don't say nothing until I got it in my hand. But I probably jumped the gun on this one. But if it ain't gonna turn out the way I need it, and I want it for one specific thing. If I can't get that one specific thing, I don't want it. But I know all y'all asses will want it. I probably gave too much hint away. But like my mama said, you can't hold water. But I probably offer it up. Y'all go. I know y'all gonna jump on it. Then I know y'all gonna be like, shit, bitch, you crazy as hell.
Run it.
Run me, Mike. But I definitely will. I'm gonna tell y'all about it this week. And like I said,
Right.
stay busy. Stay busy. Keep your mind busy. If you're in school, keep your head in them books. Get them grades and stay
Drink that
busy.
water.
Yeah, drink the water. Drink the water, please. And just stay active or whatever. Keep your mind, flowing and be positive. And have people's best interests at heart. So when we criticize up in here, we really do have people's best interests at heart. I know sometimes people can't see it, but we do. And all I can say is when you know better, you do better. You got anything else, Reginald?
Uh, now everybody just drink that water and like and subscribe and share the channel so we can make it grow. And everybody's calling, everybody's welcome. Blind, crippled, or crazy. Everybody's opinion is respected.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not queen of nothing. Like overall, everybody. I think highly of myself, but I'm a person just like each and every one of you guys. And your opinions I respect dearly, and I hope you respect mine. And we might see things differently. That's why we got our own eyes and our own ears. But y'all hang in there, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And peace out. And my Pamela James voice. Peace.